Good evening. Everyone has their own preference on food, whether it be a psychological or in a scientific way. There are known triggers for biases. This can stem from a number of different reasons. Going deep into one of the fields of anthropology is the cultural and social part of it. This would be one of the biggest triggers for biases in the food world. Me personally, coming from Mexican descent, I was taught at a young age that men were supposed to handle spice. Well, I would say as a culture as a whole was meant to handle spice, not only for heritage but also for survival. It doesn't. This one actually doesn't mean that I grew tired of it. Instead, I kind of grew dependent on it. Instead of thinking food would or salt will make a food better, I was introduced to adding different methods like acid, which is just lime. You know, when you add lime, it has acidity from the citric acid, and also spice to season it. Um, this was used to a bunch of different foods eaten throughout the whole day. So it could stem from a taco or a soup that has a nice lime or acidic on it, or it could be sliced cucumbers that you add chili on it to make it a little bit spicier and enjoyable. Whenever I eat unseasoned food, instead of going for salt, I always tend to go towards a hot sauce. Um, and that's just something that I've done since I was a kid. Um, and there is also a machismo, which is something which is a Mexican. Excuse me. I do think machismo in the Mexican culture also contributed to this. In my culture, it's a masculine trait to withstand hard work and also hard spices. Like spicy food, and seeing a guy that can eat it is always favored upon. So whenever I do also just eat a lot of, I wouldn't say do it just to impress people, but I know that other people do eat it to show off their masculinity. RFID, which stands for Avoiding Restrictive Food Intake Disorder, can also be something where biases can be seen in food. It's a AFID or RFID is a condition where a person is a picky eater, where they're restricted on what foods they eat and how much they eat and why they eat it. Trauma is one of the biggest reasons for this condition. For example, for a long time, I couldn't eat tortillas and rice and beans and soup. Growing up, my family struggled financially several different times when I was younger. I remember as a kid, I ate a lot of soup. The soup was consisted of a lot of cheap, tough cuts of meat and also hot vegetable broth. We ate it because it was one of the most affordable things my family could eat at the time. That rice and beans tortillas, I got very tired of tortillas really fast, where I tended to avoid them. Um, Now I can eat them like crazy. You know, I learned to appreciate them and grew closer to my heritage. And the fact that tortillas have fed millions of Mexicans and relieved them from hunger, and me being one of them, made me appreciate the value of food. This is just some examples of how food biases that played a huge part of my life. Thank you.